Shut up and sit down.
That's awesome.
Hey, it's where the big boys play. Sicw.
Welcome to Brody Podcast, everybody. Episode, I don't know because we haven't been on in a couple of weeks, and we'll get into that in a little bit. I am your host, Nate, and add in whatever crap because people call me a lot of things. So we have the Big Texan, Belleville's own Bobby D. How's it going, everybody?
Not bad.
What do people call you, Nate? I mean,
A lot of different things, you know. It varies where you see me. None of it is good.
The important thing is, the important thing is they don't call you late for dinner.
Well,
That is
that's
true.
because he lives alone, so he's got to make his own dinner.
And I'm never late.
It'd be weird if you didn't know it was done then.
Hey, so how's everyone doing? We haven't, like Nate said, we haven't been on in a few weeks. Me and Nate did a little something special where we commentated over a few of our matches from the raceway. Get this out of here. But that's because you, Bobby, were somewhere special. Where were you?
It was for my son. It was at the 14U duels, national duels. I was out in Pennsylvania.
All right. So how did he do?
Well, as a team, they went for freestyle. They got 5th in the country, and then for Greco, they got second in the country. Second.
Okay.
Nice.
Did he personally place any time? I mean, anything?
For this, there was no individual standings like that. What we are going to in Iowa this weekend is the individual nationals.
Damn.
We head out Thursday.
Wow, that's crazy. So, were you able to do anything, while you're out in Pennsylvania?
Of course, I went to Pennsylvania for the first time. I'm getting a Philly cheesesteak. I had 2 goals, and I met both of them. I got a Philly cheesesteak, and I saw the Rocky Steps. Did them both.
I seen you walking up the steps. I really wanted you to do like a video of you, having the camera behind you as you're running up the steps and everything, and then doing the stance and everything. But we didn't get one of those. We just got pictures.
I did run up the steps. I did not video it.
Were you
And
gassed?
it surprisingly wasn't as, like, there was a lot of steps, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I think they got us conditioned to steps with, the first 30 minutes of every wrestling practice in high school was on stairs.
Yeah. I mean, that's still cool. I mean, so you didn't visit any of the historical sites out there? You just did the...
Yeah,
The
the
Rocky
Philly
Station.
cheesesteak I went to was the original Pat's. What's more historic than that?
Okay, I understand.
I took an Uber there, and then I got on my phone, and it said it was an hour and 10-minute walk to the Rocky Stairs, so I walked to the Rocky Stairs.
But how long
Wow.
did it take?
About an hour and 10 minutes.
So you didn't even Uber there, you walked there and then ran up the steps?
Yeah, they wanted like $40 for that Uber. I'm too cheap for that.
No. Oh, my God. I guess
Well, you
if
have
you
a
got
lot
the
of
time,
flights
why
you have
not,
to
huh?
take.
Yeah, like I had a whole day to kill, and it was kind of cool though, because like walking downtown Philly, like I never seen, like, I'm gonna date myself a little bit, like in the Hey Arnold cartoon, where it's like the steps, and then you got like the stoops, and like where apartments are underneath the steps, and like tiny streets that you can barely drive on, and it was kind of cool seeing all that. And there was like a Hispanic district I walked through, a fish market I walked by that was really stanky.
That's awesome.
It was
So,
cool. It was cool seeing everything walking through the city.
where in Iowa are you going to be?
Cedar Rapids.
Okay. I was just wondering if it was going to be close to the Waterloo, Iowa, that you guys can visit that, because that building's open all year round. The wrestling history museum, basically, is what it is. But it's for pro wrestling and amateur wrestling.
Yeah, I might take a look and see how far away it is. I haven't decided what we're doing Saturday night. So we go up Thursday, he weighs in, he'll wrestle Friday, he'll wrestle Saturday. They just sent out an email that wrestling should be done about 8 p.m. So I'll have to decide if I want to drive back or pay for a hotel another night.
Ooh, yeah,
Depends how
yeah.
cheap you're going to be.
Which
One thing
is good chance
to
I'm
tell
cheap.
you about driving out to Iowa, they have the cameras on the poles out there because last year when I went to Waterloo, Iowa, I got a ticket on the way there and a ticket on the way back. That as soon as I got back home, like I got one week, and then the very next week I got the other one. So
So what I'm
people.
hearing is I need to take the wife's car.
Yep. Borrow
Yeah,
Jim's
yeah.
car. Take the vet or the Camaro so you can get out there quicker.
That's just
No,
asking to get pulled over,
no.
especially when I let my 13-year-old drive it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be wrong. That would be
You
wrong.
may not get there.
Um, while we're talking about Bobby and talking about the Little Devils, we got a show coming up. It's still a couple months away, but I do want to plug it. It seems like a good time. So August the 24th is when we're going to be back at the Little Devils. Now, do you think since it's in August, are we going to be outside? Or are we going to be inside?
The plan will be for like last year. We're hoping for outside. If it gets ungodly hot, we have a building to move it into.
All
I was
right.
going to say,
It'll be decided. It'll kind of, the plan is outside, but it'll be like a final decision the day of. Either way, it will be right there. If it's in the building, it's right across the parking lot.
Right. So last year, Nate, I don't think you were there for it, but we wrestled on the football grounds, basically.
Under the
So that
lights.
was kind of cool.
no, I was supposed to be there, but somebody didn't tell me the exact date, so I had a story.
Well, it's August 24th.
Now I know.
And
Matter of
I
fact,
don't have any, I haven't gone through and confirmed anybody for the show. Are we getting some breaking news that Texan's going to be there?
well, I would imagine that I'm going to be there as long as I'm still holding the championship. I'm imagining I'll be defending it there. But we do
All right.
have a couple months and a few shows between there, so
That's why I just
anything's
said that you're going to
possible.
be there.
I have a feeling Bobby D's going to be.
Oh, I put I already started a Facebook page and stuff. If everybody wants to go out there, like it, and share it out there, it just helps get the attendance up for it and helps the Little Devils get equipment, insurance, all that good kind of stuff.
And
But
what's
yeah,
that?
I already put that I'm confirmed on there. I need to start putting some other wrestlers that are confirmed for it.
Well, what's that? What's that website? What's the people?
Well, our actual website is BellevilleLittleDevils.com. But this is just a Facebook event that I'm referring to
Oh, on your personal page or your professional?
from the Belleville Little Devils Facebook page.
Oh, okay. Well, go there, both people. Confirm,
So,
come out, support the kids.
like I said, there's a few shows, and we'll just go ahead and plug July 6th, because that's going to be our next one. It's going to be in a little different change of place. I know we talked about it before, but it's going to be in Collinsville, and it's the Fireman's Hall. Um, it's actually a pretty big place. We wrestled there when we did a tribute to GCW. It's kind of got the same situation as like the SICW main place in East Grand Duet. The ceilings aren't extremely high, but it's still high enough to where people like Brandon Barretta or Joey or any of the smaller guys can get up there and still do some top rope maneuvers. But big guys like me and Kowalski and people like that, we probably won't see those. And not that you see me get on the top rope anyway.
You will
But
not see a moonsault from Texan on the 6th. I promise you that.
it definitely won't.
But for everybody that goes, there's something special. You want to let them know what that is?
Real special.
Yeah. So once a year we always talk about. Well, not that we only talk about it once a year because I bring it up a lot of times. But the Cauliflower Alley Club. is always held once a year, and I think this year it's in August. But going to the July 6th show in Collinsville, you have an opportunity to actually win a trip for two to Las Vegas to go see the Cauliflower Alley, get together. And I tell you, this year is kind of crazy because there's so many good people that are going to be there. Sting is going to be there. The Dudley Boys are going to be there. It's JBL, of course, is going to be there.
Did I say Kurt Angle?
Is Kurt Angle the other one?
I thought I saw him on there.
It's going to be a crazy reunion because it is a reunion. We try to go out there, all of us, every year. And of course, Bobby's a lifetime member. But this is kind of cool because you're actually getting the plane tickets for you and another person to go there, and then your stay is covered. So the hotel room is covered. You don't have to pay for the banquet dinners or anything like that. That is all covered. So basically, you're getting a whole trip for free. I think the only thing that's not covered is the taxi ride back and forth to the airport, which, that ain't bad at all. I mean, when you're getting everything else for free. And they're not going to fly you some cheap airplane rental. I'm not going to mention the name because I don't want to, say a name and then that's not the plane that you get. But
And they're not sponsoring us, so no free advertising.
yeah, we're not sponsored by the CAC or anything. But definitely, if someone just shows up and wins that, that's going to be.
You're easily looking at over a $500 prize.
Oh, well, just the plane ride there is about 300. If you're taking one of the great, good airlines, so you figure $600 just for the plane, and then the hotel stay. Was it 2 nights, 3 days, 2 nights? I think it is what it is. So probably about $200, let's say, for the hotel, and then the banquet dinner is $150. Of course, that covers both nights, both banquets.
And you would only have to have a membership, which is another 40 or 50 now.
And I'm not, I'm saying slightly on the grand, but I was just saying that for just one person. You get to bring a guest, so you're looking close to $2,000 is what everything that you're going to be winning basically. So it's definitely worth the visit to go out to Collinsville on July 6th and put in for that trip.
Well, and you get to see great wrestling.
Right. So I'm currently the champion still, so you'll see me defend my belt. Maybe sometimes they'll throw me in a tag match, so you might not. But I will be there. I guarantee you, I'm there on July 6th. I do know some of our guys won't be because Joey, one half of the Top Guns, he's got a little special thing that he's doing July 6th. AEW actually contacted Joey and asked him to do a couple dates with them. And so July 6th is the first date that he's going to go hang out with AEW. Don't know what he's going to do. Don't know if it's a dark match or if it's just behind the scenes work. But, when you're up and coming new wrestler in the business, this could be the chance. Some people only get one chance in this business, and you got to take it. So definitely he is, it's already been approved. He's missing SICW for that chance to go work for AEW. So that's going to be awesome on his part. So I don't know who we got coming. I want to say the LA Hustlers will be in town that weekend. Because I heard that they're going to be defending the tag championships that they won, from Brandon Barretta and James Jeffries. When they kind of got thrown together when Joey got hurt, they defended the belts at the last Fan Fest. And of course, well, not of course, but unfortunately, the LA Hustlers were able to get victory that night and became the first ever third-time tag team champions for SICW. Now, Brandon and Joey, I think, are the only two-time besides, of course, the LA Hustlers. But so I don't know if Brandon will be there on July 6th. Maybe we'll get an answer from him later on in the evening. But I know LA Hustlers are going to be there. I know Glenn Williams is going to be there. Of course, his little manager, since he's a little gimp boy, Sean Vincent's going to be there. Um, yeah, so, who knows all of the SICW stars that are going to be there, but definitely come there for the wrestling. Throw your name in the hat for that trip. And of course, we're starting our TV tapings up again. So if you buy a ticket and see the show on the 6th, on the 7th, you can go down to East Carondelet and watch all the TV tapings. We'll be in the TV tapings basically for free. So that's hell. If you win that trip and also get to be in the TV tapings for free, that's one hell of a weekend that you just did there. It's perfect. That'd be awesome. I'm going to throw my name in the hat to try to win that trip. That's going to save me a lot of money if I win that. Hey, Nate, I sent you over a couple pictures. Do you think you can flash one of them on the screen? All right, yeah. So I sent them over 2 pictures of people, and then 1 picture of a streaming service. So there's 3 things that are like the hot topic of today. One of them being Too Cold Scorpio. That's the gentleman that's pictured. Me and Bobby have both met Too Cold. He was a great guy, but something happened. I believe either last night or maybe it was during the day today. But in Missouri, I don't know where he was in Missouri, but he was doing a security guard gig, and something happened at the place that he was working, and TMZ actually broke this, but Too Cold either was defending himself, but I can't say for a fact, but he ended up stabbing a gentleman outside of this place that he was doing security for. And I don't know if this guy has passed away or not. So, but they're blaming Too Cold Scorpio. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what the outcome, if the guy's passed away from the stabbing, or what actually caused the stabbing to take place. But Too Cold Scorpio got charged and actually went to jail. Of course, he bonded out already. But so that's going to be a hot topic of what exactly went on. And I'm sure, no one's got the details because we haven't heard from Too Cold Scorpio yet. But, sometimes wrestlers, get other gigs. Even though he was a mainstay for WWF and WCW and ECW, and he still wrestles currently to today. Sometimes you pick up a gig here and there. I like to say a day job. Mainly because you gotta still support yourself to travel to these places and do these wrestling shows. So I guess he might have been living here in the Missouri state for a little while, picked up a day gig, but something must have happened last night because someone is, unfortunately hurt and it's been stabbed. Hopefully we'll get some more details and maybe we'll do an update next week with a little bit more information. But I wanted to throw that out there. Go ahead and skip to the next one if we could. There's 3 main stories that I want to talk about. That was one of them. This gentleman right here is another one. I had his name, Timothy White. Was a longtime referee for WWF, maybe even into the WWE years. He's best known for being Andre the Giant's caretaker. he spent all of his time basically with Andre the Giant when the boss was around. The boss didn't like a whole lot of everyone, so when he chose you, you were like his best friend, and he was Andre the Giant's best friend. All the A and E specials that they've done on Andre the Giant. They've always had Tim in those specials because he's got so much of Andre's stuff, and he was such a companion for Andre the Giant. But I wanted to bring this out here because he passed away. Um, he passed away at 68 due to some health reasons. Um, but another thing about him is he once owned a bar, and the APA acolytes,
Protection agency.
yeah. So the funny thing, and I think Bradshaw is the one that really spoke about this story, is when they were doing that gimmick where the APA would be at a bar and they get in a bar fight or something like that. It was always at Tim's bar, and it was always to update the scene. So if he had old TVs or old jukebox and he wanted to get it all updated, of course he wanted someone else to pay for it. So he would invite WWF or WEN, have the APA do their little bar scene at his bar. Of course, they would destroy the freaking bar, and then he would send Vince McMahon the bill, and Vince McMahon would pay for the updated TVs, the updated jukebox. There was even a joke
Smart business.
about this door that he wanted a new door put in, and JBL was supposed to throw this guy into the door, break the whole door jam and everything. But instead of aiming for the door, he threw the guy into the wall. Of course, the guy went through the wall, so he still got the new door and everything, but he got a wall with it as well. Just the funny stories that you hear through the grapevine it's great. But it's a sad note that Mr. White passed away. He was probably the first guy that was organizing the Andre the Giant, Hall of Fame type thing that they have down where Andre used to live. Um, Chris Owens talks about Timmy a lot. Of course, Chris Owens is a friend of ours that is currently making sure we got a lot of stuff from Andre the Giant around that everyone can see. Chris has done a few of the expos now, and he's done our first Fan Fest, our second Fan Fest, and he was able to bring a lot of the Andre the Giant stuff there that everyone could see and look at and share. So it's just sad news that Timmy passed away. But one more thing.
On Too Cold, I sped read really quick through his charges. The victim, because we don't know, has not passed away. He's still in the hospital recovering, but he was stabbed in the chest, the head, the abdomen, the leg, and the ass.
Woo.
And evidently was over a lit cigarette at Love's in Kansas City.
Wow.
And right now they're saying that Too Cold was the aggressor and started it because they took it outside and he could have gone back inside but drew a knife instead. But July is going to be the next court date, so if that's the case, and the fact that, we know that Too Cold tried stabbing people before. So that's Chris Benoit talking about stabbing somebody. And that's a matter of public record.
Yes, I know that story. It was actually Hawk from the Road Warriors, Legion of Doom. And what it was is they were over in a foreign land. I don't know if it was Japan or if it was North Korea when WCW went. I think it was. I think it was when WCW went to North Korea, because it was all hush hush, because Bischoff didn't get any approval to take his wrestlers over there, but he was invited to come over there, and yeah, Hawk, it was known to have a bad relationship with drugs, let's just say, and it was a bad night, and I don't know what Too Cold did to Hawk, but it pissed Hawk off, and he was coming down on Too Cold Scorpio every time he ran into him, and so Too Cold was like, I'm going to stand up for myself, and if he does it, I'm going to, if we come down to a fight, I'm going to stab the motherfucker. And yeah, he got talked out of it, which is pretty good, because I want to say it was North Korea, so that would have been the last thing you would want to happen over there, because you would never come back home. Hell, you can't even look at a person right and not get in trouble for it over there.
So I doubt that prior, I don't think the prosecution would be allowed to put that into evidence, but it could go to show pattern.
Well,
we're not attorneys here. We've been in law enforcement before. Jim is currently in law enforcement, so on that side of things,
Yeah, I mean, I can see
good
it
luck
either
to
way.
him, but
One is more. I mean, it all depends on the situation that he's currently in, because there's two sides of the story. We don't even know either one of the sides yet. We just know the law enforcement part. So who knows if it's self-defense? Maybe the other guy had. I'm just throwing this out there. We just don't know.
here we're not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. We're not going to speculate, except for, good luck Too Cold, and hopefully the massive amount of cameras Loves has out in KC can save your ass.
Right.
All right, moving on to Jim's next story.
So, Netflix. Bobby, I don't know if you heard this or not, or even Nate, but
I did. I got very excited for it.
Yeah, they did. So Triple H was on the Pat McAfee show today, and they brought up Netflix, how WWE is moving to Netflix next year, 2025, and he told the world basically that it's the PG era of the WWE is going to be null and void when they move to Netflix. So there's going to be no limitations. So Triple H has announced, Triple H announced that the Attitude Era is going to be back, and that was the cool era for my generation, Bobby's generation. That's when they started taking over the ratings from WCW. This was kind of like the downfall of WCW. Bischoff has got his podcast, 83 Weeks. But right now, they currently got a flick on Vice. It's a little mini series, Who Killed WCW. But when Mike Tyson came into WWE or WWF at the time, I want to say it might have been WWE. Where Mike Tyson started showing up, and they started getting into a little mix with him and Austin and Shawn Michaels. That's what kicked off basically the Attitude Era, and started the whole downfall of WCW when it comes to ratings. And
so we could say here that Mike Tyson killed WCW.
I mean, legitimately, you can say he had something to do with it. Watching the miniseries here lately, I think tomorrow there's going to be the final miniseries. Here, let's see here. Brandon has just texted me. Of course, I can't read it. But
yeah, I sent him a couple of invites.
All right. Well,
you want to forward it real quick? I sent it to him 15 minutes ago. Damn, you're getting old, man. You need glasses. Took those off real quick.
The thing is I blame the computer screen, because all those years of working the parts stores and the Vovalines, and now where I'm at now, where I'm constantly filling out forms online and stuff like that. I am fine while I'm looking around, driving, and everything else, but looking at a screen, my eyes are gone. I guess I don't know if there's a thing with that, but if I have to look at my phone or if I'm looking at a computer screen, I got to get a pair of cheaters on.
There are what they call blue filter or blue light glasses for when
Blue
you're
light
staring at
blockers.
electronics, but to relax your eyes a little bit more.
Really? I'm going to have to research that and maybe pick up a pair of those because
Whenever
literally
the
it's only
kids were
when I'm
doing
looking at computers.
when the kids were doing remote learning, they got really popular. They sell them on Amazon and everything.
Huh. I'll have to try that out. Mainly, well, I guess I'll still look old even in a pair of those, but
I have blue light filters on all my stuff anyway, so I don't have that issue.
But anyway, back to Netflix. So it's going to be awesome. Having the old Attitude Era style. Because they cater to kids and family right now, and it got a little edgy with The Rock coming back. The Rock doing his promos because he was doing the old Attitude style promos.
Oh yeah, they're not going to tell him no. He's money.
Right.
Yeah.
And, you had Cody that did one promo like that, and, they kind of raised a few eyebrows at him. And like, we expect it from Rock, but not you. And then, he even goes on, there's an interview with him about how he wants to be, and I don't know why, but he wants to be like the next John Cena, where he's all about kids. He's never give up, He's almost like a Hogan. Eat, drink your milk and take your vitamins, and if that's what he wants to be, that's fine. He's the one that got me back into WWE, that whole Cody storyline. Now that's finished. He's a champion.
Well, if Triple H is being honest and the Attitude Era, rated R is coming back, then we'll get a business account with Netflix as long as you guys once a week will come on for 10, 15 minutes and review it. And it'd be a quick hit for the podcast and put those out.
I was just watching her all before we jumped on here.
Yeah. So.
Well, we would have to do two separate, a quick hit, and that would go out, either the same night or the very next morning, and then the normal podcast. It's the only way to justify tax-wise and business-wise.
Hey, if there's loopholes we can jump through, that's fine with me. But that's, so was it Raw and the pay-per-views are going to go to Netflix. SmackDown, I don't think is going. I think SmackDown's going to another station. I might be wrong about SmackDown, but I know NXT is going to be going to, WB, or used to be Channel 11.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of wondering how they're going to pull that
CW,
off. CW, yeah. So currently, right now, the CW has the NWA on everything. It doesn't have it on their actual channel, but they have it on the CW app. So they got the NWA Power on there, and they have that one sitcom that I told you about. That's like the behind the scenes of the NWA. That's all on the CW. So I don't know if they're going to carry both WWE and NWA. Everything kind of up in the air with that. I don't know. I haven't heard. But who knows? Because right now TNA is working with the WWE, so you got both of those wrestling organizations in it up. Did you see? What's his name? I want to say John Henry, but that might not be it.
Joe Henry.
Joe Henry. Did you see him coming up on NXT?
Huge pop.
Oh yeah, huge pop. And I didn't even know about this guy until like a couple weeks ago when I heard his song. Hit like #1 on the billboards on the singles or most downloaded or something like that. And I still haven't even seen him wrestle until he debuted on NXT, and he didn't really get an offense in because it was a battle royal. He slid in, pretty much got ganked by everyone that was in the ring and then tossed out.
I say he is definitely worth YouTubing. He's got a lot of great stuff in Britain.
Really?
Yep.
Talking about WWE again, we gotta give a shout out to Haku's boys, because they're all in there now. The last one signed, he hasn't debuted yet, but they're all there. So this Bloodline Civil War thing, I think, is going to be a great hit.
And even though they're saying Bloodline still, I was happy when I heard from this past Friday night SmackDown, they said Samoans and Tongans. They did still recognize their different heritage as well.
Yeah, so that's kind of going to be kind of cool. But I think nothing is really going to happen until Roman shows back up. I think once Roman shows back up, then the battle lines could be drawn or whatever.
A lot of fan theory is the Usos will reunite and have an old bloodline versus a new bloodline. Maybe even bring
There's a
family in.
lot of theories out there because I was reading a thing earlier this week, maybe it was last week, about one of the Usos, Jimmy, I think, might be out of WWE or he quit on TV or something like that, or something happened where there's rumors, because there's even rumors that he's going to sign with AEW now. So I don't know. It's just all rumors. But to me, he needs to go back because that's where the money is going to be. I think in the future here, that Civil War that they're dropping hints on.
There would be big money in that. However, they split him up from Jay, and they do not push him at all as a singles guy like they do Jay.
Yeah, and that's funny too, because if you're looking at the Usos, I actually like Jimmy over Jay, but Jay's doing really good on his own right now. But I always liked Jimmy. I think Jimmy was the one that was more relatable to the audience, if that makes any sense. I don't think Jay got relatable until he started laughing when what's his name?
Sami Zayn.
Yeah, when Sami Zayn was involved and trying to get those guys to laugh. That's when I thought. That's when I first thought, oh well, maybe he is cool, but I always liked Jimmy over it. I'm gonna pause out for a second, and I want
I want to not say what I'm going to do. Just like
Really bad. I sent a bunch of invites. I don't know what's going on with the invite system on this thing. It worked fine for a year, and now it's not quite worth the expense anymore.
Well, that's what I was sitting there.
Nobody's getting the invite.
That's what I'm sitting here playing on my game here, and I got my text messages open, and Jim messaged me. He's like, "You gonna join?" I'm like, "I'm waiting for the link."
Yeah, I sent.
And then I have it open again the whole time. He's like, "How about that one?" It's like there's been no other message.
Yeah, I don't know. I sent them to your phone personally 2 times, mass text, sent 4 to Brandon's phone.
I said I could text you after just if it helps you diagnose it, but I believe yours was the one that finally came through that I clicked on. Only one message ever came through.
Yeah, I sent multiple out now from what happened last time. I mean, it's a pain in the ass.
when I cut out, it cut off the conference.
Yep. Well, it cut you off.
Okay.
We were singing the praises of the invite system and how it's gone downhill after a year of paying for it.
Every time you exit and come back in, it says this is now being recorded.
Oh,
I'm assuming
yeah,
that's what you're referencing there.
yeah, that's what I was referencing.
Yeah,
Oh,
it doesn't. It doesn't say that it stopped recording on our end when you do that. It just says it when you come back in. Like Brandon probably heard it too.
do
Mr.
you
Brandon
see who's on
Barretta.
the screen?
Why are they hidden? Why can't I see? Oh, never mind.
I see you.
We don't need you going viral by getting in an accident.
Yeah. Now the only thing I got to do is I got to see if I can have you guys. Fuck. I can't have my map up.
All right, so I guess we gotta put a little statement out front. Do not be on a podcast and drive at the same time.
Are you guys like recording now?
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
I'm not driving.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't see stuff through your window moving.
Nope. So being strictly business now, dude, I got a pay increase. So it's actually a green screen that you're seeing just to make me look like I'm important and that I got places to be.
Well, I mean, what we've
It's
heard
all
so
about
far,
presentation.
what we heard so far is that you are important and you are going places.
Doing a couple things.
There you go. I know his screen's a little dark, but if you can't tell, this is Brandon Barretta, one half of the Top Guns, or some people like to call him the Top Gun. But we haven't seen you in a while, Brandon. So what's happening? I know you're going places and you're very important now. But
Well, the big question is everybody thanking you for the house everywhere you go? Because we all know you draw them in.
He does bring the gun show.
I mean, I drew a pretty good house at Applebee's tonight because the lighting was good. So had some good striations and stuff showing with the down lighting at Applebee's. But no, there's that mattress. There was a mattress in the road that I'm not currently driving on. And currently in Cleveland, Ohio. He said he was going to stay quiet, but I'm going to give him a shout real quick. But Leo Fox is in the passenger seat with me. He's actually
what's up, Leo?
Leo, welcome to Squared Ring.
But in Cleveland, I'm actually training with EC3, which obviously is the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion, at his CYN Operation Co-op, which is the school that he has up here in Cleveland. And I mean, I'm doing a bunch of things, whether it's OVW or wrestling in states that I have never wrestled in before. Like I was just in Pennsylvania yesterday for the first time, running for a promotion that basically said, hey, we want EC3 to bring some of Exodus's guys. And he brought me and another guy down, and we were on the show as NWA Exodus professional wrestlers. So it was really cool to be able to do that, to be able to ride in the car with EC3, to an event. Anytime we show up at OVW, we're showing up with repping Exodus. We're CYN Exodus Pro Wrestling talent.
Well, I think I have something.
Oh, you got
wrestling is a business. And in this business, you get paid more to win. You get paid more to be a champion. You see, professional wrestling.
It's a business. Professional wrestling is a business, as I was saying there. And that's what all this is for me. Being in Cleveland, training with EC3, it is strictly business, which is really something that it's allowing me to express my true feeling of where, like, how I look at professional wrestling. You know, whether it's been SICW, New Breed Wrestling, whether it's been Memphis Wrestling, whether it's been Show Me State Wrestling, wherever I've wrestled at, it's always been about business. Like I've said from day one that I want to do this as a living. I want this to put food on my table and be able to provide for not just myself, but my fiance, our future family. And that's exactly what, when I get brought out and you hear me say I am strictly business, Brandon Barretta, I'm there to get paid. And that is as simple as I could put it. And being in Cleveland, it's really kind of honing that mindset in, and just, no pun intended, taking care of business.
There you go.
So everywhere I go, it is that mind. It's already been that mindset, but now it's even more expressed, you know, in that emotion and in that kind of, I don't want to say new side of Brandon Barretta that you might see, but
It's a more focused.
It's more focused. It's more like the intent is to win every single time. One thing that I'm really looking forward to is, I'll plug 2 shows. Is this Friday, New Breed Wrestling in Max Creek, Missouri. You know, I'm being sent down by Herb to work that show, and there's a couple guys going from SICW, and I've been telling the guys up here, I'm like, I cannot wait to work more shows in St. Louis and really just kind of show this different, like, I won't say like completely different, but you're gonna see a better version of Brandon Barretta, because the intensity is going to be up, the focus is going to be up, and it's going to be overall just in a way, a more aggressive style of like, hey, like, I'm here to beat you. I'm going to close gaps. I'm not going to give all this extra space. Like, if there's space, I'm closing it. I'm grabbing a hold and taking you down, you know.
You began your career training at SICW under Bob Orton Jr. and Big Jim. What's the difference where you started from there and then working under EC3?
I would say it's really not, it's not anything really too different. Like, the basics are all the same, right? Everything we do, it is the same baseline. But I would say the things that I'm really picking up on that you're going to see different in my style are the removing extra steps in some cases, which may not be extra in some eyes, but now going forward for me, I'm like, okay, I don't need to take these 3 extra steps. I'm going to shoot the gap here.
Right.
And I'm going to be on you. Or if I'm working a certain body part, I may use that body part to throw you. I may use that body part to whip you off the ropes. You know.
So basically, what I'm getting from you is you're going back old school style. You know, back in the shooter days, or back in the hooker days, as most people would call it. That's an exciting style. And there's a couple people that I've seen that does that now. There's one guy in MLW. He goes Timothy Thatcher. I think is his name.
He's with WWE, and
yeah, and that's a great style. I'm glad you're picking up on that. Is that something that Leo's helping you with too? Because the last time I seen Leo, and this might trigger a memory. He was in the NWA. I think it might have been 25 when him and EC3. I think it was EC3. No, maybe it was Davey Richards. But they bum rushed a couple guys in the ring, and at the NWA here in St. Louis when they were here. And him and another friend of mine and Bobby's, Kurt Gannon, was with them. And we actually caught them at the end of the show and was talking to them for a minute. But is Leo in the same like training wise as you? Is he going for that shooter style too?
So Leo has changed physically since then, but is even more of a brute now. Like, there's a match just on Saturday. He wrestled a younger guy named Hayden Backlund, and Hayden is a great talent. He is a Backlund. He is related to Bob Backlund.
Wow.
But he wrestles that newer style of wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Leo just is there and is humbling the guy. Like, if Leo gets his hands on you, you're getting thrown. So it's if Leo picks you up, like, one thing that Leo got that you probably haven't seen it done as well as Leo does it in a long time, but Mark Henry had the world's strongest slam.
Yeah.
And Leo will lay guys out with that. I mean, it's just it's a move that you don't see a whole lot anymore. But if Leo gets you in that, but the style of training that we're all going through is the same. We're all getting taught that when we show up on a show and someone sees us wrestle, you're gonna see the small things that all of us do, and you're like, okay, that's an Exodus Pro.
Yeah.
And it just happened at OVW. One of the other trainees, Brandon Lee, very similar name, obviously. He was wrestling Cal Hero, and the first thing, Doug Basham, we're watching the show. Doug Basham goes, "Yep, that guy's an Exodus Pro guy." And
hey, that's awesome.
You can tell by the way we move in the ring, the way where we're positioning ourselves, the way we may grab somebody, the way we may shoot somebody off. Like, there's small things that we're doing that people are starting to pick up of, like, these guys are training with EC3. These guys are training in Cleveland. They work Exodus Pro. Just like, for example, whenever I graduated from ACE, there was things that I did, like the double wrist lock takeover, the hip toss and the short arm scissors, things like that I would do on a show, and people like, that's a Bob Orton trainee. He's doing stuff that Bob teaches. He's doing certain things. And I still implement those things. Like, this was probably 3 weeks ago. We have three things going right now that we actually call the Bob Orton special. Okay. You can back me up on this because Bob loves to teach these three moves. It's the short arm scissors, a double wrist lock takeover, and a flying head scissors.
Yeah.
Okay. Those are what we call the Bob Orton special now. Because if you can hit all three of those, you got the Bob Orton trifecta.
I'm surprised you haven't talked about the ace break.
No, we do. We do the ace break.
Oh, that's awesome.
If you're in the waistline and you got the arm drag spot right there, everyone up here, they do it. They grab the wrist, pop it, boom, and they're going through. But it's all things like that now I'm adding stuff to my arsenal that not only is it going to be, oh, this guy does things that Bob Orton does. He's a Bob Orton student. But now it's going to be added in with these other small tweaks of this This guy works Exodus Pro. It's those small things that excite me because, like I said, Friday, June 28th, being able to show this stuff at New Breed down in Max Creek, and then July 6th, I'm excited to be able to, whoever I lock up with, it's going to be a different style, of the things that I do.
All right, so I got to stop you just for a second because we talked about SICW on July 6th being in a new spot in Collinsville, and we dropped hints on who was going to be on the card, but we didn't know about Brandon Barretta. So are you saying Brandon Barretta is going to be on the card on July 6th for SICW?
July 6th, Brandon Barretta will be in Collinsville, Illinois, on the card for SICW.
There you go. So, I mean, that's awesome news. So, I don't know if you know or not, but of course the LA Hustlers are going to be there. Of course Glenn Williams, another Ace Academy student, is going to be there. I don't know. I didn't know you were on the card. So that's awesome. Even if you're in singles or if you're in a tag team match, it's just awesome to have you on the card because everyone has been talking about you. About your OVW dark matches that you've been having, about you going out to other places and kind of expanding your knowledge and the horizon, of you. And it's just awesome that you're still coming back.
Well, that's what SICW is always the home base, and regardless of, where I may currently train at, where other shows I may work, I live in St. Louis. That's my home base. So anytime that there's a SICW show, like, my schedule's open for it. And it's just when those opportunities come, whether it's OVW or, NWA Exodus Pro, like, when that, like, right, hey, let's see what these dates are at, then we make what we make happen.
Man, that sounds awesome. So you talked a little about OVW. Is there anything more with OVW in your future?
Yeah. So, obviously with EC3, he is, OVW's national heavyweight champion. We got a bunch of guys that are already currently working OVW, myself included with, the dark matches that I'm having. But I will be back going to OVW in July. But, I mean, the talent that we have that is on OVW is, even if it's not necessarily known yet that they're an Exodus Pro guy or they're a CYN co-op guy, they're on OVW. And it's almost like one of the guys said it perfectly. It's that the co-op's taken over where a lot of these trainees are they're working every weekend, whether it's Pennsylvania, whether it's West Virginia, whether it's North Carolina. We just had one of our trainees. I don't know if you guys know what DPW is, but it's a very big indie. It's right up there with like GCW and a couple other large indies like Wrestling Revolver and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
one of our trainees, Grant Watts, he was just up in Chicago for DPW, repping, NWA Exodus Pro and the CYN co-op, and everyone's all over the place with this stuff. Where people are doing bookings all over the country.
Let me ask you because I know the NWA is pushing the territory system again, and we know there's a few states that are doing the territories under the NWA, and like your Exodus Pro, I think that is a registered NWA territory now, right?
Exodus Pro was actually the first territory.
So, are you going to start hitting these other territories that are underneath the NWA banner? Because I think there's one in Florida.
They're all
Yeah. So, are you going to start hitting that? Are you part of the NWA? Are you going to start doing like the
so
territory system for them?
the territories, they send talent across. Like just Saturday, we had the Kazanas, AJ Kazana and his younger brother. They were just in the Exodus Pro tag team championship, and they came from Joe Kazana Promotions down in Tennessee, which is another NWA territory. So, I mean, the talent is being spread across all the territories all the time.
That is awesome. So you legit can be going through any territory for the NWA. So I mean, you know, I'm so proud of you, Brandon. You know, I know I don't say it enough, but you know, you're the one student that I've always seen had an eye to go somewhere in the business. You know, a lot of students, and I know you haven't been at the academy here lately, but we always seem to have those ones. They're like, this is something they want to do for a while, and then even if they start getting good, they still pull out, and they're not doing it anymore. And you know, there's only a handful of students that are still currently wrestling, and I always seen that you were focused more on making this a reality versus just some part-time gig that you know you want to do on the weekends. So I'm so glad that you're actually moving on and moving into that next echelon of competition and more you know, places to work. So that's awesome. I'm so proud of you.
I appreciate that, Jim, because it's one of those things that, like you said, you know, ever since day one, I always was like, this is what I want to do, and like I said, it's always been a business to me. You know, professional wrestling, we're businessmen. We have to, you got to work the business,
Right.
and that's what I really feel like I'm trying to push myself to do, is taking those steps, going to those, you know, making those trips. Like when I say I live in St. Louis, like I drive up to Cleveland every Monday. I drive home from Cleveland every Wednesday. I'm back up here the next week. You know, and it's just working, making the drives, putting time in the car.
Yeah, it's dedication right there.
And it's still finding time to go to the gym, still finding time to meal prep, still finding time to do all this other stuff that was a lot easier to do, you know, just being solely based in St. Louis. You know,
Well, you're in the middle of everything.
Yeah, like St. Louis is great to be local. You know, you're in the middle of everything. I was able to shoot down south. Like, here's an example. This week I'll leave. I'll come home. I'll be home Thursday. Friday I got the show from Max Creek in New Breed, and then Sunday I'm going to be in Atlanta, Georgia, a part of the Savage 16 tournament at Southern States Pro Wrestling. So I'll also be partaking in a tournament, you know, for the next 6 months. That is going to be a huge way for me to also showcase, you know, myself as not just a tag, you know, well, a singles wrestler, you know, in the tournament, but also to help bring eyes, you know, to stuff that's from St. Louis, stuff that's from Cleveland, like, and then also work new talent that is going to push me even harder, because the Savage 16 tournament, it is. Oh,
We can still hear you. We just can't see you.
okay, I don't know what happened.
There you go.
We go. this Savage 16 tournament, it is basically a tournament for people. It's all talent who are 26 years of age and under.
Wow.
And it's basically just going to be all these young guys just trying to win this tournament. So it's going to be everyone hitting on all cylinders, everyone pushing, hitting each other with everything we got. And it's going to be a good opportunity to really, another way for me to push myself.
Yeah, definitely.
And to come out, win or lose, I will have more experience against a lot of top talent, that's in this tournament.
Yeah.
But it's just that it's that mentality. Like I said, I'm going to be coming home, driving home 8 hours, be home Thursday. Then it's going to be almost a 10-hour total round trip for the show on Friday, and then be home Saturday, and then 9 hours to Atlanta, and then from Atlanta come straight back to Cleveland, which is so I'm going from St. Louis to Atlanta to Cleveland, which is a total of 19 hours in the car in less than 48 hours. So it's but it's all for me to make this what I want it to be, and it's to be doing this full time, making a living, providing for my fiance, our future family, and to just keep getting better as I'm doing it. And then the week after that, we're hot and heavy for SICW. July 6th and July 7th. We have our show Saturday night, and then the tapings on Sunday, which obviously I'll be there for those as well. And then back to Cleveland on Monday.
Man, I mean, if that doesn't show dedication to the sport, to your career, nothing does. So, I do want to warn you. I had sent Nate some pictures that will be showing on the screen when this airs. The pictures of you first starting and how you look now. So
Yeah, you have
the
some hard shorts
transformation
on.
is just incredible, and that's what I want to get that point across. Is you can from the beginning when you see a kid that just wanted to check out some wrestling and see if you can do it, to now being motivated and dedicated to changing your whole lifestyle around, and being 21 hours on the road just to get back and forth. You just can't.
There is like like you said, 21 hours on the road basically is like, and I've done short trips like that before. Going from Cleveland to Memphis for TV down there, but I'm sure that story about how astonishing that was. If you catch my drift,
Yes.
and it was just even things like that, are what prepped me for this. Being, with SICW starting out, and even some of the double shots we've had to do, with shows, with her, the traveling to different shows for Herb, being the long days of setting up and working a show and staying and tearing down, and all this stuff has gotten me to where I am now. So it's it's still a challenge. Nothing could prepare me for anything like this. But in a way, without that baseline that I got with SICW, I wouldn't be, where I am today.
Yeah, definitely, this is a crazy business, and you got to be crazy to do it. So it's just cool that you're trying to get it done. Hey, Brandon, I know you're still driving. I don't want to take too much more of your time. I just wanted to get you on, kind of get an update. Well, looks like maybe you're stopped, but
we just got to the house.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got time. I've got time.
All right. Yeah, if you want to stay on, then that's fine. I just know you're a busy man, so I was just going to give you a way out.
He says, I don't need sleep.
Hey, man, that is one thing that I was telling the guys up here. I was never a coffee drinker before. Like, I mean, you could ask, my fiance, you could ask, like, I was never a coffee guy. By God, does that stuff get me through my days now? Like,
Really?
oh yeah.
Minimum of 4 cups a day.
I mean, we were just today we had before me and Leo went to training, uh, we had to stop at the venue that we run up here, and we had to grab the sound equipment, and it was just there's a coffee house right up the road. It's called Sicw Coffee. Kind of convenient. Being Top Gun Brandon Barretta, and it's Sicw Coffee.
Right.
And they're one of the sponsors for the show. So we go in and we drop the flyers off, and I'm like, I need a cup of coffee. Like, this is it's 3:30 p.m. and I'm like, I'm dragging right now. Like, I need coffee. And I was up this morning. Me and one of the guys, Sebastian, who is a psychotic Bob Ross. But he's what you would call a quote unquote body guy, and that's the other thing about being up here is it's I'm surrounded by guys who were completely locked in, um, with meal prepping, with getting in the gym, like all this stuff. So like, there's not a single day that I'm up here that we don't go to the gym, because everyone is doing, NWA power. Everyone's doing TV somewhere, and they're like, all right, hey, come on, we're walking up to the gym, because the gym that we go to is literally half a mile from here. So it's just one of the things that we every day we're up walking to the gym.
So, what does a day up there look like for you?
Most days, so obviously, being a professional wrestler at this level, it's not the full time gig, right? Like, when I'm back home in St. Louis, I got a part time job. When I'm up here in Cleveland, I got a part time job. So if I got work in the morning, and I'm up at 5:30, 6 o'clock, showering, getting ready for work, gym, go to work. Up here, I'm just moving. I'm moving stuff all day. I'm helping people move out of their house, move into a house, like all this stuff. And I do that with one of the guys up here that wrestles. And we show up, you know, we look like professional wrestlers, and then we just pick your furniture up and move it around. And then after that, we'll normally get out probably like 4, and then we're cutting back to the house real quick, heating up our meal prep, eating, quick shower, getting to training by 5. Then we're training from 5 to 9. Then we get out at 9, and then normally we, come straight home. We're watching some tape. We're all in it because we love professional wrestling. So the guys that all live here at the house, we all kind of just watch wrestling until we are like, all right, it's time to go to sleep because so and so's got to be up at work, or so and so's got to be up for this. Then we just repeat. Tomorrow, luckily, I don't have work, so I'll get to sleep in a little bit. But me, Sebastian, Leo, we all got to meet. We got to meet E up at the gym. He's actually coming to the gym out here by us, and we're going to go lift with him. And if you know EC3, he's the definition of body guy. I mean, the guy runs around at 3% body fat every single day, and he's just massive. So it's just working out with him is a treat in itself because you're just learning new stuff all the time, learning different ways to work out, learning all this stuff. And then we'll go to training tomorrow night. And, there's not an easy day at training. So it's just one of the things that, E teaches big. And he really prides himself in this, is that no one's gonna blow up an Exodus Pro guy.
That's
So
awesome. Yeah.
it is cardio, 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 in ring, out of the ring, like all this stuff. Jim, I believe I told you about this before, but we ran an hour-long drill of just working, and we had 5 guys, and it wasn't even in the ring. It was on wrestling mats, on the floor. And you have 5 guys on one side, 5 guys on the other side. E starts the timer, lock up, grab the head, work the head, and we're working down to the floor, working holds, working all the way back up. Guys getting out, you're reversing, you're doing all because you're working each other. And then, he'll pause the timer and say, all right, break, switch guys. Then you move down the line. Starts the timer, lock up, work the arm, grab the arm. You're working, guys reversing, you're working, he's working, you're on the floor, you're up on, back on your feet, and you just go through every single person. And it ended up being an hour and 7 minutes,
Wow.
that we worked for the entire time. And it's just, you really learn how to breathe.
Right.
Because you get blown up, and then you get your second wind, then you push through, then you get blown up again, then you push through again. And it's just, there's never an easy day at training. And these days are just, they're hard days, but then I get to come home, spend time with the fiance. Still got to work when I'm home, and then work whatever shows I got on the weekend, and come back up here on Monday and do it all over again.
So, speaking of learning old school style and being the shooter and the hooker and everything, he's teaching you how they did it back then, because you always hear about Ric Flair and Harley Race and how they did the hour-long matches when they were the champion. Every single night, it was always an hour long because they expected the champion to go an hour. Where the other matches on the card was the 15, 20-minute time limit draws. But the champion, normally did an hour. And so, yeah, I mean, he's building you up to be the champion, to be a champion. So, I mean, that's awesome to hear. Hey, is there, some wrestlers have like a little code that you can help support them, because I know it takes a lot of money to go back and forth. So besides buying your merch, or even is there a website that you can shout out to buy your merch at, or if there's a QR code that you have that you take donations or anything, is there anything like that you have?
So really, like, I've been kind of grinding through this on my own. As far as like merch and stuff, you can obviously do prowrestlingtees.com, search up Brandon Barretta, and you can buy any of the merch from there. We've actually had a really good success rate with that. A lot of people that think, even at live shows, at house shows, people think, oh no, everyone's gonna want it right there in person, which is true. We do have some people like, oh, we really like to have it now, blah blah blah. But then when you tell them, hey, Pro Wrestling Tees, they literally will ship it to you in 3 days, and it's at your door. They're like, oh, okay. And then the cool thing is you can literally customize, the shirts. If you want a certain type of shirt, or you want a certain fit, or a certain, sorry, I don't know what happened again. Or a
It's
certain,
Cleveland.
hang on, it's happening again. If you want a certain, like, cut of the sleeve, like if you want a baseball, if you want a 3/4 sleeve instead of a regular t-shirt, or whatever the case may be, you can do that with whatever logo we have, for sale on the website. So that's probably the best way, to
Well,
support.
I know some of the wrestlers nowadays are doing a PayPal. I don't know if you have a PayPal account, but I would, If you don't, I would suggest you get one of those because they normally have a QR code that you can post out, other places, or even throw it online like a podcast like this. That way, someone can, chip you out some money or something like that if they want to. Believe it or not, a lot of fans just want to get behind you and support you, and that's a good way for them to do that. Is if you have a PayPal account that you have out there. So
Yeah. Okay. It'll definitely be something I'll look into then.
definitely, and a lot of people like to get on the ground level. So if they know that you're trying to make it big, they want to see you succeed. So sometimes,
Yeah.
they do that. And I have one that helps me out from time to time. It's kind of weird, but if they think you're having a bad day, they'll say, "Hey, check your PayPal account." And it's like, "Holy shit, thank you, man! I never thought about that." Um, but it happens. Fans
Yeah.
are loyal, and they like to get behind people. So it's a good thing to have out there, especially since you're going all out to all these other places. Because you're going to pick up fans from everywhere.
He needs
Still here?
he needs a new phone to keep a video on.
Yeah, he needs a new phone so everyone can see his pretty face. Say something, Brandon. Maybe we can still hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can at least hear you. So
Hang
so
on.
that's just just an idea. I know some of the local wrestlers around St. Louis have got those, so I just wanted to throw that out at you.
Yeah, I'll definitely look into that. It is because like I said, it's been something that I've been grinding through. Um, obviously
Yeah,
with
and
the
was it
fiance
8 hours?
and
8 hours
yeah,
back and forth to Ohio, right?
it is
A lot
8
of
hours
gas.
away.
Yeah.
So
I
8 hours
hope
there,
you're
8 hours
driving
home.
like a small little Pontiac or something like that. What are you driving nowadays?
I got a Buick. I got a little commuter Buick that I picked up pretty much to do this. um,
Hey, smart.
yeah, it gets
My
good gas mileage.
my Camaro it got rear-ended about 3 weeks ago, and literally it got hit by a truck with one of those tow grills on the front of the truck.
Oh,
So
geez.
the back of the Camaro had cuts in it from the just vertical straight up and down marks, and they gave us it's some small little Pontiac. I can't even think of it, but it looks like a little ice skate on wheels or something. But so you're going from this bright yellow canary, Camaro that is very noticeable, down to this little two-door black little roller skate. Is totally a dramatic. But I tell you, we've had it for a couple days, and I bet you the thing is still on full.
Yeah, yeah. That's how the
But,
Buick is. Like it
yeah.
literally it'll go forever.
Yeah, my
And
truck
for
will go
people
for a
seeing,
quarter
that's
inch.
Brandon Barretta's Pro Tees page, currently sporting
Oh, there we
4
go. I
different
see that
types.
under, yeah. Look at that. Thank you.
So, you bet. So everybody copy that URL, go there, buy some stuff because he needs some gas money and a new phone.
There you
And a new phone, right?
go. All right, so I'm going to cut you off now. I do appreciate you coming on. I know it was a last minute thing that I
All good.
spoke with you earlier in the day, but I just wanted to get an update with you because we missed you at the last SICW show, and I had no clue you're going to be on the July 6th show. So that's a great
Oh, maybe we should have
little
kept it.
insider
Maybe
thing that we
kept it a
got from you.
secret. Maybe we should have kept it a secret.
Oh, no. We like to have it out, especially on the podcast. That's where we want stuff to come out.
And it gets an extra 100 fans when they know Beretta's coming.
Oh my
Hell
god.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we definitely did miss you on the card because our envelopes were a little skinnier.
Oh my
So I'm glad you're going to be on the 6th, so that way my envelope's a little thicker and I might be able to buy dinner that night. So that's awesome.
Well, Brandon, your absence on the last show made it possible for Belleville's own Bobby D to make Ludacris jealous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to mainly get an update on you because I know you're living the crazy life right now, and I know the SICW fans wanted to get some behind the scenes of what you're doing. So I appreciate you coming on, and I'm definitely want to bring you on if your schedule allows you, since you're going to be touring with the NWA and OVW and everything else. But just to keep you, in the podcast family, I want to bring you on from time to time.
Yeah. Anytime you guys want me on, we can get something set up. So
Perfect. All right. Well, then you take a break. You go in and chill out for a little while. Thank you for coming on, and it was awesome.
awesome. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you
All
guys
right,
July
sir.
6th. All right.
All right, July 6th,
See you, Brandon.
sir.
Yes, sir.
So that was totally awesome. It's been a while since we had Brandon on, and I actually tried to get him on a few weeks ago, but his schedule is crazy right now. He's trying to get shit going, and I believe that he's trying to do everything he can. So he kind of bumped us. His schedule was busy, but I was able to get a hold of him earlier today, and I was actually trying to get a hold of someone else too, because I want to have someone. If Brandon couldn't get on, I had a backup, but maybe we'll have them on next week, because I want to talk to him, because they just had, I wouldn't say a reunion of sorts, but there's like 3 Hall of Fames in St. Louis. There's the St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame. There's 2 independent Hall of Fames. And, I was supposed to go in one last year, but there's another one too. There's another St. Louis Independent Hall of Fame. And I want to get one of the guys responsible for putting that on our next week's podcast. So I'm going to try to make that happen. Boss man, if you're going to watch this, you know who I'm talking about. But they just had their awards yesterday, and some great class members got inducted into the Hall of Fame. And I want to kind of do a special on that, and see if we can't make that happen, because for the independents, there's so many independents, like me and Nathan talked about on a sidebar a couple days ago. So many independents, and so many people unfortunately don't make it out of whatever territory they're in. And so for places to develop a Hall of Fame for that region, to get those wrestlers known, or names out there, and show how appreciative the fans are and other wrestlers are that they work there. To me, it's kind of like icing on the cake for independent wrestlers. Because for every John Cena, there's probably 5,000 people that could have been in that spot, but John Cena filled that spot. And like back in,
And it was amazing because nobody ever saw him.
well, that's the thing. A lot of people didn't know John Cena until he was in OVW, but John Cena was an actual good wrestler. He wrestled out in California. I have videotapes of him wrestling out in California against people like Samoa Joe and Christopher Daniels, actual people that are known for wrestling, and John Cena was right with them. But you get up to that, you get up to that WWE level, and for some people, you only got to know 5 moves and you're gold. And he filled that Hulk Hogan slot where he didn't do the leg drop and the ear and all that stuff. He had his own moves, but he filled that slot. But like I said, for the independents, there's 5,000 people trying for that one slot. So for the local guys to be honored and inducted into a Hall of Fame, I think it's, like I said, icing on the cake. So I want to try to make this happen. Hopefully we can make it happen for next week. I'll let you guys all know about that. But man, I just can't believe we got Brandon. He wanted to be on a little earlier, but he had to play chauffeur tonight. Like he was driving around Leo Fox, he was also driving around another wrestler and had to drop them off and be a chauffeur. So we were lucky we got him when we did. So it's awesome. Um, I think we're pretty good. What do you guys think? You guys want anything to talk about?
No, we
I think
pretty
we
much
hit all the
covered
major
everything.
topics right now.
Sweet. All right, so if I can get this locked up for next week, and then next week, of course, that'll be the drive week for the July 6th show. I'm sure we'll have a lot more. Well, We'll probably know a lot more about the matches that are going to be on the card. I do want to throw out there, if you paid attention to yesterday's SICW YouTube show, they did announce 2 more dates that we're going to be back at the racetrack. It's going to be August 17th. Now, that's actually going to be a double shot for us, I think.
Yeah, that's the Indy cars, isn't it? Formula
I
One.
think it is the Indy cars, but we actually got 2 shows that day. So we're going to hit, the racetrack will be during the day, and then we got a place that night that we got to hit. And then September 28th is the second, or technically the third time we're going to be at the racetrack. If you paid attention to the show, they had the president, or I guess the owner of the racetrack on, and he talked about how it was so crazy that no one else had ever thought about linking the two, wrestling and racing, at once. And he was after we got done wrestling there, the following week they had another big show in California that he was at, and it was like a meeting of all the people that own all these racetracks. And they were coming up with different ways of promoting and getting more business. And that was the first thing he said to the whole community, to the whole board, or all the owners. And he said, we just came off of a great weekend where we had wrestling, and all the fans enjoyed the wrestling between the races. And so now we're kind of like the first, and we're going to be, I don't know, what's the term for it? Like the blueprint or something like that, where
Pioneers.
the pioneers of the wrestling and racing connection. And there's a whole bunch of talk about maybe some shirts talking about both, maybe a championship, who knows? Crazy talks, but this could definitely be something moving on even till next year and the future years of having that connection with the racetrack. And anytime you can have that, and we're even going to be on, I think those are Sunday shows as well, so it's not even Saturdays. So it's going to be the main racing day.
I'd say to answer Nate's question, I believe August is the Bommarito 500, which would be your Indy cars, and then September it's actually an NHRA race, which is the drag racing.
Dragon, nice. Both things I'm a fan of. Last night I was watching some drag racing down in Texas. So
Yeah, but that drag racing was totally different than what we're talking about.
There's no cars.
no, I'm not
involved
talking about when you're down in Texas, Texan. Not that type of drag race. There was no lipstick on pigs. Okay.
All right. I want to do one more shout out.
You said July 7th. It's August 7th and December what?
No, August 17th and September 28th.
Okay, 17th and 28th.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to write that down for my schedule.
Yep, I do want to throw out one more shout out just because I was in the parade last week and they did an awesome job. August 10th, Monroe County Fairgrounds, basically Waterloo area. We are going to have a show out there. And there was a parade for the Waterloo area last week, and the people that we're going to be wrestling for, which is a great cause. It's a cause to help kids, um, you know, that don't have parents that have money for them to be able to do things. This is going to be a charity to help. Uh, I don't know what the correct wording is for it, but unprivileged kids to be able to afford. An example they gave me was if a girl wanted to go to a prom but can't afford the prom dress, this place is going to be able to help her out, get her a prom dress, so she can go to prom like a not a normal student, but a regular student, so she wouldn't be ashamed, so unprivileged kids, it's an organization that's going to help these kids out. But
That's awesome.
during the parade, they created a wrestling ring. It was like a trailer, a pull behind trailer, but the floor was all padded out in blue. They had red ropes and four corner posts and everything. So it was set up like a wrestling ring. And I was in the back of there in the ring, with my two belts being shown. And they had kids handing out flyers and tickets to it. So I want to shout them out because their goal is to get 5,000 people at these fairgrounds. And the whole Monroe County is behind this charity. So I have no doubt in my mind that they're going to be able to meet that goal.
And there are millions of people watching. Get out there.
Yes, definitely. But that's all I got. And I appreciate that we were able to get back together, all three of us, tonight. And I know
Well, Bobby was having fun and board meetings.
we all have crazy schedules, so it's
hopefully
always
on the
good
next one
to
I'll
get
have
back.
an All-American with me.
I hope
There
so
you
too.
go.
That'd be awesome.
All right. Well, normally we say it throughout, but if you like what you see, if you like what we talk about, please like, subscribe, share, comment. It really helps us out. I know we always talk about the 500 goal. Last time I checked, we're at 391, so we're still a little short, but we're so freaking close. So if you can help us out and share this content to get us out there. And there's some other things that me and Nate have talked about that we might share in the future to help us get to that level and to share the wealth with other people. So it'll be a great thing for everyone.
That one
Bobby will
just
fill
takes
you
a
in
while.
later.
Yeah, that
But
one just takes a while.
right. I mean, we're trying to evolve. Anything that we can do to spread the word and spread the content, we're all about. So please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that little bell. So anytime that we have new stuff pop up, even if it's not the podcast, Nathan does wrestling matches. Some of the old NWA matches from Wrestling at the Chase. He likes to hit those up once or twice a week too. So
And we have the first double ring 20-man battle royale ever coming out this week.
So that was Larry Matisek's thing right there. So it'd be great to watch that. I'll be thrilled to watch that. I think it's been a few years since I watched it because we once did a double battle royal for the first Central States title that Gary Jackson won,
I was like,
and it
you
was
need
a
to find that
throwback.
footage released shortly after.
Yeah,
Yeah, if I could find it, that'd be awesome.
but
I mean,
that was
even
a
with this
throwback
one,
for Larry.
yeah, I go, even with this one, I only was able to get right after Bruiser Brody got eliminated with Takaya. Who was he always up
It's been
against?
so long since I've seen that one, but
Yeah. And
and that's going to make me want to watch it. So,
because there's such degradation coming from the TV studio, and then transferring that from tape to digital, and then the compression to put it out, end up losing some. Unfortunate, but
hey, the SICW show had a match on last night, and the commentator talked about these forearm strikes, and he called it the baking soda armor hammer. Was it baking soda armor hammer strikes or something like that? It was crazy to hear the commentator call it like that, and I was like, damn, that is so funny because watching these old matches and hearing the commentators talk, some of them might not be used to talking for 10, 15 minutes during this match, and the shit they came up with was just funny as hell. And I heard that last night.
Johnny Valentine. That's what they set up in Chicago when he was doing that one up there. Yes. It was the Arm & Hammer baking soda move.
Yeah, it was crazy. Yes, so
that
funny.
One killed me.
But all right, thanks for tuning in to the Squared Ring podcast. Again, we try to come to you at least once a week with some added matches as well. But thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. I'll see you later,
thanks for
guys.
coming, everybody.
See ya.